Hey guys, JH, welcome to Practicey. Okay. Now, we all like to hit the ball a little bit further. No question about that. I haven't met anybody that doesn't want to hit any further. Probably Mo Norman. He said he knew he couldn't hit it a long way, so he never tried. Although I must admit, towards the end of his career he was hitting it further because he was actually doing stuff that he hadn't done before. I don't hit the ball that far because I've got a very compact backswing. My trail arm folds in here and I get the club very low in the backswing. So I'm what we would term, very, very compact and deep, I guess. I get it in here, deep. Now that club head there will travel that distance from there to there to there. It's that far above the ground. So it only has X amount of time to get back to the ball. Now you don't see any long drive guys with short golf swings. They've always got the club up here and they've always got lots of width. So even with channel lock guys, if you want to get a little bit more width in your golf swing, and you can do that. You can do that. Just let me check that audio, guys. Testing, testing, testing. Yeah. Okay, now, how do we get a bigger arc in the backswing and still stay in the channel? Okay, now, that's a relatively small arc in a low arc. That's a big arc. If I could get the golf club up there, I could probably swing it at 115 miles an hour, maybe more, from up there, because that club is going to motor. Now, athletically and physically I can get it there, but I don't have a golf swing that I've ever had that's done that. But you can have a modification to your existing swing, and I'm going to do it to get a little bit more distance. And that is that in taking I'm really getting on top of the ball now, guys. For my whole life, golfing life, I've always started with the club head inside the ball, even with my irons. And with my woods, the drive, I started like here. But I'm now, because I've got the shorter clubs, I'm actually standing right on top of the golf ball. So I'm getting it really on, really in behind the golf ball and closer to the golf ball. So in doing that, I'm tending to be a little bit more upright in the process of the golf swing. And so being there, technically, I should be able to do that. Now to do that, you've got to fly the trail elbow. I don't fly my trail elbow. I usually keep it in and folded. But Nicholas did, and all the long drive guys. You don't see a long drive guy with that trail elbow tucked in. They always fly it. And Jack was castigated for it in his career. They said he's got a flying right elbow. Of course he had a flying right elbow because he had his hands high. And he wasn't that flexible in his rotator cuffs. So in order to get the hands high in the backswing, you've got to get that away from like that, like Freddie Couples does. If I could get it there, it'd be great. Now the other thing in getting it there, guys, when you take the club back, like I normally pull it back like that, here, and then I let it cock in here. But if you keep the club really outside your hands in the backswing, and as you swing it up, just keep it going up. Just keep it going there. Feel it's a bit like that. A little bit like the Jimmy Bruin loop. Jimmy Bruin used to swing the club like this. And then he whipped it. He was so long. And that young guy on the US tour, Wolf, I can't remember his first name, but that's how he swings it, and he's prodigiously long. Because he gets the club here at the top of his golf swing. Look where the top of that club is. If you can get it up there instead of here, how much further is that golf club going to travel? Now, we don't want to change any of the mechanics of channel lock. All we want to do is get the club head higher in the backswing, further above the ground. Now it's great in theory, and I only thought about it driving out here today because I had a look at Jimmy Bruin again and that Wolf kid, and they were like, Bruin used to hit it back in the 50s, could hit it 350, 360. I think he drove a 400-yard green once. Those old golf clubs and balls. And if you looked at him, he wasn't athletic, but he had very long arms and he could whip it. He used to get it up here and then he'd just go wham. He could just whip it. So I guess this is a whipping action. I haven't tried it, but what I'm going to try and do is get here, keep that club outside there, take my hands there, but keep the club going here. Here. That's what I want to do. Now clearly when I get it there, it should backplane a little bit. Now I might completely flub this, guys. Could be JH on camera as Captain Flub. I haven't tried it, but I know the theory of it. And there's a guy that comes here on occasions, and he's a big tall guy, and man, he can just fly that back fence there, which is about 290. Just flies it over that fence. And he gets it, the club is like 20 feet up in the air. It's there. It looks like a lightning rod or a microwave transmitting tower. The club's up here. Man, and he takes it back like this, he goes, and then he goes wham. Now we don't want to take it there. We want to take it there, but we want to go here as we get it there. Our up there is back here. Having said all that, JH, why don't you show us how it's done? I'm going to try and show you how it's done. There's the first shot. Wasn't timed, but it went dead straight. And would it feel funny if it felt like totally disconnected golf swing? Totally disconnected. You've got to let it backplane. That's the second shot. Take it in and let it backplane, Chase. Hard to do. Hard to do. Okay, what's that, 4 shots? No timing on any of those. They've all gone dead straight, but no timing. Feels funny. Feels funny. It feels very handsy, and it gets the club up in the air. Come on, Chase. Well, that's hammered. What's that, 7th shot? I'm a reasonably quick learner. Okay, I don't know where that club's going. Feels completely disconnected. Sit into it, Chase. That's killed. You know what that feels like? Feels like this. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Clearly it doesn't look like that, but that's what it feels like. It feels like one big long straight line. That's what it feels like. Feels fantastic. Well, it feels unwielding. But man, that was motoring. That ball was absolutely motoring. It's going here. That's as pretty a golf shot as I've ever hit. That's amazing. Feels so wide, so disconnected, but still in the channel. Just feels that. Feels like it's going towards that gum tree up there. Feels fantastic. Wow. Like there's no wrist cock or wrist break at all. I'm just pushing it here. Tell you what, it gives a huge amount of hang time. Carries the ball so far. Lots of hang time. Come on. Wow. Gives me a fair bit of time in the golf swing because it's not as handsy. What have we done, 10 shots? Probably looks nothing like what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do that. Tell you what it feels like. When I get it to here, it feels like it goes here and then it really does whip slap. Feels like a whip slap, if you can understand that. A whip slapping action. I mean, amazingly so. A whip slap. Not a whip snapper, a whip slapper. I'm too old to be a whip snapper, I'm a whip slapper. Watch this, guys. Okay, now JH, you've had your assimilation. Wow, just goes so much higher, and it just really flies beautifully. It would be coming down so softly because it's going so high. There's no parabolics in it. It's sort of like this type of flight. Goes out and just falls down like a snowflake. I get called snowflake a few times, so it probably suits my power system. Wow. Do I feel more width? Oh, absolutely. I just feel an absence of wrist cocking. I just feel like the club is just an extension of my arms. It just feels like that. It's clearly not doing that, but it feels like that. Wow, so much speed and it's pulling my right foot up. Guys, they're beautiful shots. What would I say is the advantage of it? They're going further. That's probably 6 iron, they're probably going another 12 yards. In the air, it's almost a club longer. And much higher. And dead straight. No draw on it at all, just dead straight ball flight. Because I don't feel like I'm going to get any of that ever. Even if I get that, I just get a push power draw. Oh, come on, JH. Where has this been hiding? Well, that sign out there that I normally hit to there, that's just flown it. And that's no exaggeration, that is just flown straight over the top of it. There's no wind here right now. Just flown straight over the top of it. What does it feel like? It feels like that. But it feels like that there. Like I'm trying to, if there was a cable up there, I'm trying to touch the cable with my golf club. If I can get it up there and not have any voluntary backloading on it and just let it drop, oh, such a pretty shot. Now that's a shot that I don't normally see in my game. That's just a dead straight shot, and at the end it just falls like that. A proper fade, just a power fade, just goes whoosh, bang, falls over like that. Whoosh, bang, whoosh, bang, that's all it does. Just beautiful, slight, probably 5 k's left to right, might be that moving it, but for all intents and purposes, it's not moving at all. Just a beautiful, beautiful golf shot. Now guys, what have we hit, 20 shots? Again, I must say that, you know, the claptrap you hear about, oh yeah, it's going to take you a dozen lessons to make a change. I can make a change in usually 20 shots. I've just done it. Maybe the visuals are not, I haven't changed that much, but the feeling is profound. And I've taken the handsiness out of my golf swing. And I feel more width in it. I've obviously got more width because the ball is going further. The ball is going further. Wow. Wow. Okay, it's pulling my right foot up a little bit. But that's only because my hands are so high, I'm going into a rebalance at the start of the downswing. That's all that is. That's the reason for that. I'm just going into a rebalance and I'm just a little bit out of phase in terms of where my mass is. Watch this, guys. Now if I can keep my trail foot down now and a bit more 5 o'clock nose now that I've got this feeling, that's what I'll work on. I kept the foot down. So hot. It's hot, boys, girls. All right, now I'll go into a full, what I think is just touch the sky with the club head. Wow. Wow. I mean, wow. This will be interesting, guys. I'll hit a couple of drivers. This will be interesting with that feeling. And this new thing I've got now where ground's so hard you can't even get the tee in the ground. It's just like rock. And guys, I used to always start with my driver here. Mr. X said yesterday, ever since he's known me, but ever since I've always started with the club there, and my iron's about there, Bobby Jones, which means I always used to hit into out, which is why I always had a power draw. Mr. X said, why don't you put the club right behind the ball? I said, no, I've never done it. But I did it yesterday. And guys, I just smashed it. Now what was interesting on that video we did yesterday with Mr. X, you'll see that on his drive sometimes he hits the ground here after he hits the ball with his driver. He'll just scrape the ground there. Why? Because he's very, very steep in his attack, whereas I'm up. He has a low tee and he hits down. Arnold Palmer used to take divots with his drivers. Lee Como does. Because they're really down. But he's way down. I mean, that's why he plays the ball down on the ground. But sometimes he actually brushes the ground, and you see in the video yesterday, he was actually on that fluffy grass out there, he was actually catching the grass after the shot. The balls are bullets. He actually traps his drivers. So someone asked what's the difference in tee height between us. Well, I'm a sweeper, I hit up and he hits down. But he said, JH, why don't you put the club right in behind the golf ball? And I did. So here it is, guys, the first time you see JH with the club in behind the golf ball, and I'm going to take it straight up in the air. Wow, that's straight. That is really straight. That's very, very, very straight. Very straight. Two markers out here 10 yards apart. That's what I aim for. You just go straight between them. Now it's funny, guys, really funny with the club in behind the ball. Feels like I'm going to hit it in the neck. Wow, two things. I've got the club in behind the ball, which gets me pretty close to the ball, and I'm taking the club what I think is higher with no wrist cock. That was a great shot. That was just perfect golf shot. I'm looking for the club because I can't feel it's not in the normal place that it's supposed to be. Come on, Jason. Wow. So a few changes here, guys. Few changes. All right, now I'm warmed up. I'll take this back full amount. Ball can never go over there ever. Could never go over there. 40-inch driver. You know what that feels like? Feels like a driver arm ball. Feels like when I hit my wedge shots and I've got no flick in the hands or anything. It's just like a big arm ball. Like a big siding action. That was just huge. Come on, Chance, try that again. Wow. Okay guys, first time, you're seeing it first up. I haven't missed any shots. Mistimed a few, still goes straight. It's a good thing about channel lock, when you miss time it still goes dead straight. There are people here that can't putt that straight. They cannot putt that straight. Wow. Is this different? I feel like I'm on top of the ball. Wow. I say those markers are 10 yards apart out there, guys, and it's just, every shot's just dead centre of the markers. What's it like with distance with the driver? Every bit of normal distance. Every bit of it. Just a tiny little push fade. That's only because the grip's a little bit wet. Just a tiny little push fade. That's all that is. Wow. Never done this before. Never done this before. Come on. Good 5 o'clock nose there. I actually saw the club hit the ball, I think. All their course workers are all going out to play their Friday afternoon game. I don't need to be too much golf out there. They've got the big ice boxes full of refreshments, and I think you know what the type of refreshments are on there. But they stay away from the public. But I'd say by around about the 10th or 11th hole, the focus on the ball will be a little tough. Their wives come and pick them up, guys. Yeah, they work hard, those guys. They work hard. Watch this. Well, JH, you have never hit the ball like that in your life, ever. You've never hit a drive with that type of ball flight. Never. I've never hit a ball with that type of ball flight. It's a different ball flight. That really, and now when we say we hit an absolute rifle shot, that looks like a rifle, that looks like a bullet. Just doesn't move. Just crazy. That is just ridiculous. And there's another one. Wow. 40-inch driver. I'm going to try and hit down on this one just for fun, like Mr. X does. I never do that. Get out of here. 3 changes. Got the club right in behind the golf ball. I normally have it inside the golf ball, off the toe. I'm taking it back with basically just an extension of my arms here. That way, not a lot of wrist cock. And I hit down on that. And that ball flight was just, I mean, that was just exquisite ball flight. Got 2 balls left, guys. Wow. And guys, I mean a genuine wow. I mean, that was just, I have never hit down on a drive in my life. Actually hit down on it. Now when I say hit down on it, to me to hit down on it, I pull harder with my lead hand and I turn it down more. That's how I get the hit down. Whereas normally I come in here and I release it, but I get it going this way. But there I'm pulling the lead hand into the ground. That's extraordinary. Wow. That Titleist goes a lot harder than the than the range ball. Wow. Okay guys, 3 things I've changed in my golf swing. And the ball's going beautifully. Got to really hit down on this. Mr. X, you might have put me onto something here. He gets a different flight to me because he does hit down on the ball. I don't think I'll ever be hitting the grass at the in front of the ball, but I think I'm pretty level. Invariably he will always take the tee out of the ground when he hits the shot. I don't take it out the ground because I hit up. Last shot. Come on, Jace. What a shot to finish on. Okay guys, 3 things. I've gone from having my club always there inside the ball, that's the ball, to there. I've gone from letting the club cock here to holding the cock off and trying to get it here and then just letting it back plane. And I'm trying to hit down on the ball. There's nothing stays the same on the JH practice tee. And frankly guys, if I had to come out here every day and not be trying something, I'd lose my urge to come out here, really, I really would. For me it's a joy of my life to come out here and do all this fiddling around. It's just fantastic, I enjoy it so much. It's late in the day guys and it's about 95 degrees, it's just so hot. Okay guys, there are a couple of things, you don't have to do them, this is just stuff I do. But they all worked, it was fantastic. Those drivers were just beautiful. And I feel like I'm here, like the club's pointing up there. It's not, but that's the feeling. But it's not in here, that trail arm's not locked in there. Trail arm's away and flying. Okay guys, just a couple of JH developments.